Sarah was taking her final exam when her phone buzzed with a strange message. Falcon protocol activated. Exit now. She remembered her father's warning from years ago, if anyone says Falcon, trust them completely. Then the windows exploded as Navy SEALs crashed into her classroom. Before watching full story, comment below from where are you watching. Also like and subscribe for more stories. Sarah Chin sat in the big exam room, her hands shaking as she wrote answers on her physics test. It was finals week at Stanford University, and this test would decide if she graduated with honors. Around her, 200 other students were writing quietly, trying to finish their exams before time ran out. The clock on the wall showed 2:47 p.m. Sarah had been working on this test for almost 2 hours and she was tired. Her eyes hurt from reading the small print, and her back ached from sitting in the hard chair. She looked at the next problem on her paper and sighed. Just 2 more questions to go. Her phone buzzed quietly in her backpack. Then it buzzed again. And again. Sarah tried to ignore it, but she was worried. What if something bad had happened to her family? What if her mom was hurt? She thought about her mother working long hours at the hospital in San Francisco, always tired but never complaining. Sarah's father had died when she was only 12 years old. It was supposed to be a car accident, but something about his death never felt right to her. After he died, her mother moved them to 3 different cities. They changed their last name twice. Her mother never wanted to talk about Sarah's father or his work. The phone kept buzzing. Sarah looked around the room. Professor Williams was reading a book at his desk, not watching the students. Quietly, she reached into her bag and checked her phone. 15 missed calls from a number she didn't know. Her heart started beating fast. Then she saw a text message that made her blood turn cold. Sarah Chin. Exit the building now. This is not a drill. Falcon protocol activated. The word Falcon hit her like a punch to the stomach. She remembered that word from when she was 10 years old. Her father had sat her down one evening in their old house and told her something very important. Sarah, he had said, holding her small hands in his big ones. I need you to remember something. If anyone ever says the word Falcon to you, it means you're in great danger. It means you need to trust them completely, even if you don't understand why. That's a strange word, Daddy, young Sarah had said. Why Falcon? Her father had smiled sadly and hugged her tight. Because falcons are smart birds. They know how to fly away from danger very fast. Promise me you'll remember this. Now, 12 years later, sitting in that exam room, Sarah remembered her promise. Her hands were shaking so hard she could barely hold her phone. She looked around the room again and noticed something strange. There were more security guards by the doors than usual. They were wearing dark suits and talking quietly into small devices in their ears. Another text message appeared. Your father's work is not finished. They are coming for you. Trust no one except Falcon team. Sarah's mind was racing. What did her father do for work? Her mother always said he was just an engineer, but Sarah had always felt like there was more to the story. Why did they have to move so many times? Why did her mother cry every time Sarah asked about her father? Suddenly the fire alarm started blaring loudly. All the students looked up from their papers, confused and annoyed. Professor Williams stood up from his desk. Everyone stay in your seats, he announced. This is probably just a false alarm. We've had problems with the system all week. But Sarah knew this wasn't a false alarm. Her phone buzzed again with another message. Look out the window. Side. Now. Sarah turned to look out the big windows on the east side of the building. What she saw made her heart stop. 3 black cars were parked outside and men in dark clothes were getting out. They weren't campus security. They moved like soldiers, quick and careful. One more text arrived. When the windows break, get down and wait for Falcon. Do not run. Do not scream. We are here to save you. Sarah stared at her phone, not believing what she was reading. This had to be a mistake. She was just a college student taking a physics exam. She studied hard, got good grades, and helped her mother pay bills by working part-time at the campus library. She wasn't important enough for anyone to want to hurt her. But then she remembered the USB drive her father had given her the day before he died. She still had it, hidden in a box under her bed. She had never opened it because her mother begged her not to. Some secrets are better left buried, her mother had said. The fire alarm suddenly stopped. The room became quiet again, but it was a different kind of quiet. Tense. Scary. Sarah could feel that something bad was about to happen. Professor Williams got a phone call. He answered it quietly, but Sarah could see his face getting worried. He hung up and looked at all the students. I need everyone to stay calm, he said, but his voice was shaking. There seems to be a security situation on campus. Campus police are asking everyone to remain in their classrooms until further notice. Some students started talking nervously. Others took out their phones to call their families. Sarah sat perfectly still, watching the windows. Her phone showed one more message, 30 seconds. She put her phone away and tried to look normal, but inside she was terrified. What was going to happen in 30 seconds? Who was coming for her? And why now, on the day of her final exam, when all she wanted was to graduate and make her father proud? Sarah thought about her little brother Tommy back home. He was only 16 and wanted to be a doctor like their mother. If something happened to Sarah, who would help pay for his college? Who would take care of their mother when she got old? 20 seconds. Sarah could see more men in dark clothes outside. They were surrounding the building. One of them was pointing up at the windows of her classroom. 10 seconds. Sarah took a deep breath and got ready to duck under her desk, just like the message had told her to do. 5 seconds. She closed her eyes and thought about her father. "I hope you're watching over me, Daddy," she whispered. Then the windows exploded. Glass flew everywhere as dark figures crashed through the windows on ropes. Students screamed and ran in all directions. Professor Williams shouted for everyone to get down. The men who came through the windows were dressed in black military gear with helmets covering their faces. Sarah did exactly what the text message had told her to do. She got down on the floor under her desk and waited. Around her, everything was chaos. Students were crying and running toward the doors, but the men in black were blocking all the exits. One of the soldiers walked straight toward Sarah's desk. His boots crunched on the broken glass. Sarah was so scared she could barely breathe. The soldier knelt down and looked at her through his dark helmet. "Sarah Chin?" His voice was deep and calm. Sarah nodded, too scared to speak. "My name is Commander Rodriguez. We are the Falcon team. We're here to get you to safety." Sarah stared at him. This was really happening. The word her father had made her memorize 10 years ago was finally being used. "Why?" she whispered. "I'm just a student." Commander Rodriguez helped her stand up. Around them, his team was making sure all the other students were safe but keeping them away from Sarah. "Your father was a very important man, Sarah. He worked for the government on projects that were supposed to stay secret forever. But some very bad people have found out about his work. They think you know his secrets." "But I don't know anything," Sarah said, tears running down her face. "He died when I was 12. I'm just trying to finish college." "We know that," the commander said gently. "But they don't believe it. 3 hours ago, our intelligence team learned that a group of foreign agents was planning to kidnap you today. They want to use you to get information about your father's projects." Sarah felt like she was in a bad movie. None of this seemed real. What kind of work did my father do? Commander Rodriguez looked around the room. His team had secured all the exits and was checking to make sure no one was hurt. "Your father helped design satellite systems that protect our country. The technology he created is worth billions of dollars to the wrong people. Before he died, he hid all his research. The only clue to finding it might be something he left for you." Sarah thought about the USB drive hidden under her bed. Her heart started beating even faster. "We need to get you out of here now," the commander said. "Our sources say the people who want to hurt you are already on campus. They're pretending to be FBI agents, but they're not." As if his words had summoned them, Sarah heard loud voices in the hallway outside the classroom. Someone was shouting orders, but they didn't sound like the voices of the Navy SEALs who had just rescued her. "Sarah Chin. This is the FBI. We need you to come with us immediately for your own safety." Commander Rodriguez and his team looked at each other. They all raised their weapons toward the door. "Those aren't FBI agents," the commander whispered to Sarah. "FBI doesn't work like that. Stay behind me." The classroom door burst open. 3 men in dark suits came in, but Sarah could see they weren't American. One of them had a slight accent when he spoke. "Step away from the girl," the man said to Commander Rodriguez. "We are taking her into federal custody." "Show me your badges," Commander Rodriguez demanded. The fake FBI agents reached inside their jackets, but instead of badges they pulled out guns. That's when everything went crazy again. Commander Rodriguez pushed Sarah down behind a desk and shouted to his team. The Navy SEALs and the fake agents started shooting at each other. Sarah covered her ears and tried to make herself as small as possible. The fight lasted only a few minutes, but to Sarah it felt like hours. When the shooting stopped, Commander Rodriguez knelt beside her again. "Are you hurt?" he asked. Sarah shook her head. She was too shocked to speak. "Good. We need to move now. There will be more of them coming." He helped her stand up. Sarah looked around the classroom. Her physics exam was still on her desk, covered with broken glass. All her hard work, all her dreams of graduating with honors, seemed so unimportant now. "What about my exam?" she asked stupidly. Commander Rodriguez almost smiled. "I think your professor will give you an extension under the circumstances." One of the other SEALs came over to them. "Commander, we've got vehicles approaching from 3 directions. We need to go now." "Roger that." The commander turned to Sarah. "We're going to take you somewhere safe, but first we need to stop by your apartment. Is there anything your father might have left for you? Anything he told you to keep safe?" Sarah thought about the USB drive. She nodded slowly. "There's a USB drive. He gave it to me the day before he died. I've never opened it." "That's probably what everyone is looking for," the commander said. "We need to get it before they do." The SEAL team moved quickly through the building, keeping Sarah in the middle of their group. They had called ahead and campus security had cleared a path to the parking garage. Students and teachers were being kept in other buildings until the situation was resolved. As they walked, Commander Rodriguez explained more about Sarah's father. "David Chin was one of the smartest men who ever worked for our government," he said. "The satellite defense system he designed protects the whole country from enemy attacks. But the plans for that system disappeared when he died. We've been looking for them for 12 years. Why didn't anyone tell me this before?" Sarah asked. "Because we hoped the plans were lost forever. It was safer for you and your family if no one knew who your father really was. But last month, someone hacked into an old government computer and found a file with your name on it. That's when we knew the plans might still exist." They reached Sarah's apartment building. It was a small place near campus where she lived alone. She had worked 2 jobs to afford it because she wanted to give her mother some space and independence. "Stay close to me," Commander Rodriguez said as they walked up the stairs to her door. "My team will secure the area, but we need to be fast." Sarah unlocked her apartment door with shaking hands. Inside, everything looked normal. Her textbooks were stacked on the kitchen table where she had left them. Her coffee cup from that morning was still in the sink. She went to her bedroom and knelt by her bed. The USB drive was in a small box hidden under her mattress, along with some photos of her father and a letter he had written to her before he died. "I've never read the letter," she told Commander Rodriguez as she handed him the USB drive. "Mom said it would make me too sad." The commander looked at the letter. "Maybe you should read it now. Your father might have left you a message about this drive." With trembling hands, Sarah opened the envelope. Inside was a letter written in her father's careful handwriting. "My dearest Sarah, if you are reading this letter, it means something bad has happened to me. I am so sorry that I cannot be there to watch you grow up, to see you graduate from college, to walk you down the aisle at your wedding. But I want you to know that everything I did was to make the world safer for you and your brother. The USB drive I gave you contains very important information. It is my life's work and it could help protect many people. But it could also be very dangerous in the wrong hands. I have hidden the drive so that only you can open it. You will need to use your birthday and your mother's maiden name as passwords. If anyone ever comes looking for this information, trust only people who use the code word, Falcon. These are the good people who will keep you safe. Give them the drive and let them decide what to do with it. I love you more than all the stars in the sky. Be brave, be smart, and take care of your mother and Tommy. You are going to do amazing things with your life. Forever your loving father, David Chin." Sarah was crying when she finished reading. Commander Rodriguez gave her a moment to wipe her eyes. "Your father was a hero," he said softly. "He saved thousands of lives with his work." One of the other SEALs came into the apartment. "Commander, we've got movement on the street. Multiple vehicles. We need to go now." Commander Rodriguez took the USB drive and put it in a secure pouch on his belt. "Sarah, we're going to take you to a safe house where you can stay until this is all over. It might be a few days, maybe a week." "What about my mom and Tommy?" Sarah asked. "Are they safe?" "We've already sent teams to protect them. They're being moved to a safe location too. You'll see them soon." As they prepared to leave, Sarah looked around her small apartment one more time. She grabbed a few important things: a photo of her family, her father's watch that her mother had given her, and the letter she had just read. The team moved quickly down the back stairs of her building. They had 2 armored vehicles waiting in the alley behind the building. Sarah could hear sirens in the distance and helicopters overhead. "Is all this really because of a USB drive?" she asked as they drove away. Commander Rodriguez nodded. "That USB drive contains the plans for the most advanced defense system in the world. In the wrong hands, it could be used to attack other countries or to defend against our own military. There are people who would pay hundreds of millions of dollars for that information. Sarah thought about her quiet life as a college student. Yesterday, her biggest worry was passing her physics exam. Now she was riding in an armored car with Navy SEALs, carrying her dead father's secrets. "What happens after this is over?" she asked. "You go back to your normal life," the commander said. "You finish college, graduate, get a job, maybe get married and have kids. The only difference is that you'll always have protection nearby, people watching to make sure you stay safe. Like guardian angels? Something like that." They drove for about an hour to a house in the mountains outside the city. It looked like a normal vacation home, but Sarah could see that it was heavily protected. There were guards hidden in the trees and cameras everywhere. Inside the house, Sarah met Dr. Elizabeth Warren, a woman in her 50s who worked for the government. "Hello, Sarah," Dr. Warren said kindly. "I knew your father. He was a good friend and a brilliant scientist. I'm here to explain what happens next." They sat in a comfortable living room while Dr. Warren told Sarah more about her father's work. "Your father designed a satellite system that can detect and stop missile attacks from anywhere in the world," she explained. "It's been protecting our country for 12 years, but we lost the plans when your father died. Without those plans we can't maintain the system or build new ones. So the USB drive is really important? It's probably the most important piece of technology in the world right now. Other countries have been trying to steal this information for years." Dr. Warren showed Sarah some photos on her laptop. "These are the people who were trying to kidnap you today. They work for a group that sells military secrets to the highest bidder. They would have hurt you to get information about your father's work." Sarah looked at the photos. The men looked ordinary, like people she might see at the grocery store or on campus. It was hard to believe they were dangerous. "How long will I have to stay here?" Sarah asked. "Just a few more days," Dr. Warren assured her. "We're using the information from your father's USB drive to update our defense systems and change all the security codes. Once that's done, the information won't be valuable to anyone anymore. You'll be safe." That night, Sarah called her mother and brother from a secure phone. Her mother was crying with relief. "I'm so sorry, Sarah," her mother said. "I should have told you the truth about your father years ago. I was just trying to protect you." "It's okay, Mom. I understand." Her brother Tommy was excited by all the drama. "My sister is like a secret agent," he said. "This is so cool." Sarah laughed for the first time all day. "I'm not a secret agent, Tommy. I'm just a college student who got caught up in something big." Over the next 3 days, Sarah stayed at the safe house while government experts worked with her father's USB drive. She spent time reading books, watching movies, and talking to Dr. Warren about her father. "He talked about you all the time," Dr. Warren told her. "He was so proud that you wanted to study physics just like him. He said you had his brain and your mother's heart." On the 4th day, Commander Rodriguez came back to the safe house with good news. "It's over," he announced. "We've caught all the people who were trying to hurt you. The information from your father's USB drive has been secured and updated. You can go back to your normal life now." Sarah felt relieved but also sad. In a strange way, she had enjoyed learning about her father's real work. It made her feel closer to him. "Will I ever see you again?" she asked the commander. "Probably not," he said with a smile. "But remember, there are always people watching out for you. Good people who care about keeping you safe." Dr. Warren gave Sarah a special phone number. "If you ever feel like you're in danger, call this number and say, Falcon. Help will come immediately." When Sarah returned to campus the following week, everything seemed normal again. Her physics professor, Mr. Williams, gave her a makeup exam in his office. "I've never had a student miss an exam because of Navy SEALs," he joked. "This is definitely a first." Sarah passed her exam with flying colors. She graduated with honors 2 months later. At the graduation ceremony, she looked up at the sky and whispered, "This is for you, Dad." Her mother and Tommy were in the audience, cheering loudly. Sarah could also see some people in the crowd who she suspected were her guardians, still watching over her. After graduation, Sarah went to graduate school to study satellite engineering just like her father. She wanted to continue his work of protecting people and making the world safer. Sometimes, late at night when she was studying, Sarah would think about that crazy day when Navy SEALs crashed through her classroom windows and called her Falcon. It seemed like a dream now, but she knew it had really happened. She kept her father's letter in her desk drawer and read it whenever she missed him. The last line always made her smile. "You are going to do amazing things with your life." Sarah was determined to make that prediction come true. She would use her intelligence and education to help others, just like her father had done. And somewhere out there, she knew her guardian angels were still watching, ready to help if she ever needed them again. The word Falcon would always remind her that she was loved and protected, even when she felt alone. It was her father's final gift to her, the knowledge that there were good people in the world who would risk their lives to keep innocent people safe. Years later, when Sarah became a successful engineer working on satellite defense systems, she would sometimes get messages from Commander Rodriguez. Just simple notes saying "Stay safe, Falcon," or "Your father would be proud." And she knew that somewhere in the world, there were other young people like her, living normal lives while carrying extraordinary secrets. People who had their own guardian angels watching over them, people who had their own code words that would bring help when they needed it most. Sarah's story was over, but it was also just the beginning. She had learned that being ordinary was actually quite extraordinary, that having people who care about you is the most valuable thing in the world, and that sometimes the most important thing you can do is trust the people who use the right code word at exactly the right time.